Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. So today I wanted to talk about this phrase, the proof is in the pudding. And I'll add on to it, knowledge plus action equals results. Okay? So the proof is in the pudding. The meaning, if I look it up, says the value, quality, or truth of something must be judged based on direct experience with it or on its results. So, in the mind-body space, where I spend all my time, perceived danger, pain, or symptoms, TMS, as many call it, in theory, a lot of people go, yeah, that seems to make sense. And they think that by learning about TMS, perceived danger, that's enough to get better. And so what I find is that knowledge without implementation doesn't get you very far. And so it's really important to take that knowledge and put it to action. And so the proof is in the pudding, meaning, you can make a pudding that looks great, but you got to taste it, the action. Is it good? So implementation, what does that look like? Well, it means truly understanding how the system works. I have people asking me questions, and they have just from the email I get, they have a very, I'll say, shallow understanding of this mind-body concept. And they latch onto one aspect of the assessments and say, symptoms move. Okay, so there are cases. I got a buddy whose symptoms moved, but it was physical. And they'll just, at a very surface level, rule out this mind-body concept for themselves. So I do say a deep knowledge is really important. A deep knowledge is, really knowledge acquisition. Gather. But at a certain point in time when you understand it, we have to start putting it into play, put it into action. But a lot of people don't get off that starting block because they still doubt whether or not their symptoms are created by their brain. So they've got all sorts of reasons why, well, maybe, I'm a hybrid, which is a term that's thrown around sometimes. And I'm not on board with that. Some people believe it may be a thing. Let's not debate that here. But overall, we got to put these concepts into action. And if you're not certain what is causing your symptoms, the brain will, by default, say, well, I better turn on the alarm in case there is something wrong structurally, physically, functionally, a disease process or something happening. So the assessments, go to painfreeyou.com, download the assessment, and do it for each symptom you're experiencing and want to check out. And if you're checking off one or more of those questions as true, then your brain is creating the symptoms. And if you're not certain how that could be, read through the questions. And in isolation, one question you might be able to go, yeah, but could a real physical thing be influenced by stress? Maybe, but go through all the questions and you'll see that it creates an overall, behavior pattern that symptoms would not take if it was not caused by the brain. In other words, physical symptoms react much more consistently and less reactive to external influence like stress or light or sound or social gatherings or whatever it may be. So do the assessments, gather the knowledge up front, and then once you've made a decision, this is where the rubber meets the road, another catchphrase. We've got to put this stuff into action. And I talk about all the time the various safety strategies. Week or two ago, I spoke about convey safety as many ways as possible. And so look in the description below. We'll try to link it there. And knowledge acquisition, assessment, decision. Yes, this is what's going on for me. Commitment, I'm going to move forward with this. And then stick with it and move forward, adjust, keep going forward, evaluate. How did that go? What can I learn from that? Adjust, keep moving forward. Sometimes you're going to make progress. Sometimes you'll slip back. But with consistent forward motion, you're going to keep making progress, and you'll learn as you go. Try not to let any stumble along the way throw your confidence or throw you back into doubt that, well, this isn't working, so maybe it's physical. You've done the analysis. You understand how the system works. Once you make a decision, try to hold on to that and stick with it. It's not a smooth sailing ride. It's bumpy. There's curves. There's potholes. You're going to skid off the road sometimes, and things are going to go sideways. But that's part of the journey, and if you expect that up front, you're not going to be quite as put off by it. So hang in there. Keep on implementing. The proof is in the pudding. You've got to take action on the knowledge in order to gain the results. And here's the thing. Some people say, how do I believe? Believe enough to start. Gather the knowledge, do the assessment, believe enough to make a decision that I'm going to pursue this. And then by taking the action, what ends up happening is you're going to start to notice, well, my mindset is getting better. I'm not quite as frightened. I'm not as much in a panic. I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic. That's progress. I am starting to be able to reassure myself more. I'm not focusing on these symptoms all day, every day. That's progress. Even if the symptoms are still there, it's still progress because you are moving your mindset forward, being less bothered, less panicked, more able to reassure, starting to engage more in life, even if you've got symptoms. It's all progress. This is where we take the action. And after a while, these actions will result in some changes in your mindset and your symptoms. And then what happens is your belief goes from here to here because you are now using yourself to prove to yourself with your own lived experience that this stuff works. And so the proof is in the pudding. Take action on the knowledge, and then you can evaluate how did that pudding taste based on your direct experience with it. Because if you stay in the theory, reading books, listening to videos, never taking action, it's really, really difficult to make any progress. So we've got to take the actions. And if belief isn't strong, believe enough to begin, your belief will grow. So I'm going to wrap it up here. And as always, folks, I love you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.